September 17th, 2020. That is the launch date for Cyberpunk 2077, and it really isn't that far away. Less than 4 months, I believe. And we're going to see a lot of information about the game soon. On June 11th, 2020, CD Projekt Red will be hosting what they're calling Night City Wire, which is their E3 replacement, essentially, a digital event where I would suspect they're going to show a new trailer and possibly some new gameplay to hype us up leading up to the September launch, though no details have been provided yet, but we're going to find out in like 2 weeks or so. But before then, if you're craving for even an inkling of brand new gameplay, well, turns out CD Projekt Red did provide that in a tweet from May 15th, 2020. And I'm a little late covering this, but there were other stories that I wanted to cover first. But this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is a 3 to 4 second gameplay bit that shows off a new environment within Night City, or the outskirts of Night City, as well as this vehicle. And right here, the tweet that the Cyberpunk 2077 Twitter page posted reads, Reaver, custom-built Wraith gang vehicle based on Quadra Type 66 car. With its near 1,000 horsepower, you will ride eternal, shiny, and chrome. Happy 5th anniversary, Mad Max Fury Road. So this is a dedication to Mad Max, but the gameplay we're looking at there is very much real, and if you want to see it kind of in higher resolution, blown up a little better, here's a video posted on YouTube by PS5 Intel, and you can see right here kind of the details of the environment, the details of the car a bit better. And panning around, you can see that this is a desert area. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what's known as the Badlands. So right back here, that seems to be the skyline of Night City. And the outskirts of that is this desert-like region where a lot of the nomads, which is a class in the tabletop, this is where the nomads hang out, essentially. This is where they reside. And nomads are essentially people who are biker gangs, and they have evolved from 2020 to become sort of a key figure in Night City. They take charge of a lot of the cargo that's transported to and fro after the Fourth Corporate War that kind of wreaked destruction upon the city. And after they rebuilt, nomads became an essential part of the infrastructure with their ability to transport cargo here and there. And this right here is a car designed and themed after a very specific nomad gang known as the Wraith Gang. Now, who are the Wraith? Well, that is information that's detailed in the wiki, and right here it reads, the Wraiths are a gang of Raffen Sheev in Night City. The Wraiths are one of the 2 nomad groups inhabiting the Badlands, Badlands being the region in the outskirts of Night City, the desert-like area that's kind of reminiscent of that Mad Max vibe. They have a long history of frequent conflict and warring with the other nomad group, the Aldecados, and then referencing the car, the entry reads, the Wraiths also have a custom near 1,000 horsepower car that they roam the Badlands in called the Reaver, which is referring to this vehicle, of course. And it would seem as though maybe the player kind of managed to steal this vehicle from the Wraiths, this custom vehicle, whose brand is the Quadra Type 66 car. Quadra, by the way, is the same brand of vehicle that we see V use a lot in marketing material. So right here is the car in question. This is called the Quadra V Tech, and this is what the design looks like. So Quadra has other types of vehicles, and among them is this Quadra Type 66 car that has sort of a heavier feel to it. And this is a custom design on the part of the Wraiths, who are this nomad gang that roam the Badlands. And right here, there's reference to how the Wraiths are a gang of Raffen Sheev. For those who don't know what that is, the Raffen Sheev are essentially a subgroup of nomads that are more rogue, who are kind of more hated by society because of their brutal nature. So it reads right here, the Raffen Sheev are a subculture of nomads featured in Cyberpunk 2020 and 2077. The Raffen are the most hated nomads, even among the normally permissive nomad society. These people are considered subhuman. This is in 2020, and in 2077, quote, the Raffen Sheev are still active in 2077. The Raffen Sheev gang, the Wraiths, inhabit the Badlands outside of Night City. They're frequently in conflict with the other nomad faction inhabiting the Badlands, the Aldecados. And the Aldecados are sort of they're not part of the Raf and Sheev. They're sort of more traditional nomads, a part of the 7 nations featured in 2020 and 2077. And it is detailed down here how this particular pack of nomads, the Aldecados, are one of the 2 nomad groups inhabiting the Badlands. They have a long history of frequent conflict and warring with the other nomad group, the Wraiths. Unlike their aggressive rivals, the Aldecados are more open to making deals with V. Now, in 2020, the Aldecados are part of what's known as the 7 Nations, which is this allegiance that the various nomad factions formed in order to formalize their standing and to kind of just keep order amidst the various nomad gangs and packs and families and tribes. I don't know how much of this is going to carry over to 2077, but in 2020, the 7 nations were Snake Nation, the Jodes, the Blood Nation, the Meta, which are actually a corporation. The Aldecados were among those in 2020, and they've kind of been brought into 2077. The Thalos Nation and the Folk Nation, and then the Raf and Sheev seem to be considered outcasts who are kind of too extreme to be a part of this more formalized allegiance. And so the Aldecados are part of the 7 Nation, the Wraiths are part of the Raf and Sheev, and within the Raf and Sheev, it is said that the Wraiths are probably the largest of the Rafan group. So there's more of the Raf and Sheev, but the Wraiths are the most prominent, and these 2 factions, the Aldecados from the 7 Nations and the Wraiths of the Raf and Sheev, they're at constant conflict with each other, and that'll be explored in 2077. And so that's kind of a bit of a backstory behind this vehicle right here that belongs to the Wraiths. And this is not a whole lot of footage, but there is important things to glean at from there. This is our first look at the Badlands and at some of the potential environments we can see outside of the city, and sort of the types of vehicles we can expect, the kinds of gangs we'll be dealing with. There's like bits of information in this footage. And right down here, scrolling through Twitter, you'll see that plenty of people are kind of like thirsting for more Cyberpunk 2077 content just from this one bit of footage alone. 41,000 likes, 6.4 thousand retweets, and a bunch of comments here of people expressing their excitement for what we're looking at here. And, you know, the footage, for what it is, it looks pretty damn good. I mean, even in this compressed form, this looks impressive, graphically speaking, and I'm looking forward to exploring the Badlands and kind of really seeing what the conflict between the Wraiths and Aldecados, what it all leads up to, and what kinds of interesting quests that forms. But yeah, people are just all around really hyped and impressed. Nothing but positive vibes from all of this. Like, holy shit, is this in-game? It is, says the Cyberpunk 2077 Twitter page. How deep is the customization? How deep is your love? They respond. So yeah, vehicle customization is something that I hope will be really extensive. I mean, just looking at this alone, I get good feelings about that. Hopefully players can delve even deeper and really kind of do what they want with their own vehicles and add their own custom vinyls and paint jobs and modifications to enhance their cars' sort of performance and capabilities. Now, to top things off, I'd like to mention to you guys that today on May 29th, 2020, CD Projekt Red posted their financial results for the first quarter of 2020, and apparently, quote, they had their best year ever in both profit and revenue. But on top of that, they provided an update on Cyberpunk 2077, assuring that it is still on track for that September 17th, 2020 release date. And they kind of said at what stage of development the game's at right now. So here's what that quote reads like. CD Projekt Red is carrying out with the final stage of development of its most expansive RPG to date, Cyberpunk 2077. The game features a vibrant, high-tech open world where players assume the role of V, a cyberpunk who has recently migrated to the most dangerous metropolis of the future, Night City. Cyberpunk 2077 gameplay follows the rules of the Cyberpunk 2020 RPG system created by Mike Pondsmith. So the final stage of development, and this is something that's kind of been known. CD Projekt Red has emphasized that they're in the polishing stages, but they delayed anyway because they really felt like they needed that extra time to make all of the final adjustments to ensure this is as perfect as it can be come launch, which is a move that I'm all okay for. But it's good to hear that they're still reinforcing the notion that this is the final stage of development and they have no plans of changing the release date of September 17th. So yeah, the game, it seems like it's on track, which is very good to see. And if this right here is anything to go by, I think we're going to see some great things come June 11th. We're going to see some new sides of Night City. Maybe we'll get a glimpse of the Badlands, of some of the nomads we'll encounter, and just get some brand new gameplay showing other facets of Night City and the gameplay and the RPG mechanics, the storytelling that we haven't seen before. So I'm going to look forward to that, and obviously I'm going to live stream it with you guys, and we can get excited together. I am incredibly hyped for this game, my most anticipated game of 2020, and one of my most anticipated games ever. It's certainly looking like it could live up to the promise, and I'm hoping for the best. But yeah, there you have it, folks. If you're craving for even an inkling of gameplay, here's a bit of that, and judging by how the camera is rotating, this isn't cinematically filmed in-game footage. This is actual gameplay, just a very small tidbit of it, and the vehicle looks badass, the landscapes look badass, the fact that there is sort of this Badlands-like area to explore is pretty cool, the fact that there is variety in scenery beyond just, the cityscape of a metropolis like Night City. Yeah, it's looking like there's going to be a lot of different places to explore, lots of different factions to interact with, and vehicles like this to look forward to with really badass sort of customization. So look forward to all of that. In the meantime, though, let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are on this little tidbit of gameplay and what you hope to see in this Night City Wire event on June 11th. Drop a comment below, and to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.